Hello, welcome back to my channel, Intrinsic Intelligence. Today, as prompt engineering series, we are going to discuss on hallucination. Why AI makes up things and sounds completely sure while it doing. In general, whatever response the LLMs or the chat text we are getting, there is no check on the legitimacy part. Suppose the year data, citation data could be a make. So we will look into further detail why the responded text from the prompts are not verified and we should verify of our own. Let's move on. What is hallucination? Hallucination in general is an AI model generates a false or fabricated information. Maybe it could be facts, citations, code, or data that simply does not exist, while stating it as a full confidence. It is a predictive. It's a predictive model, so it is predicting. The model isn't intentionally deceiving you, it's generating the most statistically plausible next words, which is the same as the generated true. It basically assumes whatever data it is. Wherever there is no data, it fills in the words based on the information it has. So always confidence is not right. A model's tone doesn't change based on how certain it actually is. That's what makes hallucination dangerous. It reads exactly like a real answer. That is the problem. Moving on. Now, how AI actually answers our question while we are prompting. So these are all the stages. First, we will ask the question, when was X founded? X could be anything. Then it will do a pattern matching, scans, and through the learned patterns and trained knowledge, it scans through and predicts the word most likely will suit us and then gives the answer. If you notice in this four stages, there is no stage where there is no verification of the final answer. So if the pattern points to something wrong, the model says it anyway, just as fluently as it was right. AI doesn't look up in the book. It predicts the next word one at a time based on the patterns it learned, like a very advanced autocomplete. So why it matters? Why this is a real problem? So it is a real world consequences. Lawyers, students, and developers have all shipped fabricated citations or broken code straight from an AI answer. Hard to catch. Hallucinated content is often fluent and plausible sounding. It does not look wrong at a glance. Scales with AI adoption. As more products and workflows rely on LLM output, unchecked hallucination becomes a greater operational list. What we will cover. Four common types of hallucination. Second, why it happens. Three root causes. Third, a real developer example. Four, how to detect it. Five, four ways to reduce it. And six, the key takeaways. Fabricated facts. The model states specific facts, dates, statistics, or details that simply aren't true, often blending real and invented information seamlessly. So there is an illustrated example here. Asked for a historical date or a statistic, the model gives a precise confident sounding number that turns out to be invented. Suppose if there is an information about historical data like year or citation or place, if the AI is not trained in it, it will invent the words that will fill in the missing places. It already generated, consider you asked for 10 facts, 8 is available and 2 is not available. It will invent those 2 unknown facts with the 8 known facts. This is a precision and it is dangerous. A vague wrong answer raises suspicion, but a specific exacting sound one feels trustworthy. Type 2. Fake citations and sources. The model invents academic papers, book titles, and article links or quotes that look completely real but doesn't exist anywhere. So this is the illustration. A citation formatted properly. Author, journal, year, page number for a paper that was not published. This is one of the reported real-time failures. Professionals have submitted fabricated citations to courts and academic work. So please do verify if in case of we are expecting any medical information or legal information or any authorized, you need a information that need to be verified. Request the LLMs where you use any LLM. It could be ChatGPT, Perplexity, DeepSeek. Ask for the sources where it referred. And also when doing the prompting, request it to search in certain resources where the information is real. And even if it provides the information, ask for the sources from where it has retrieved. Fabricated code and APIs. Code that imports the library method with realistic name, but that method was not part of the actual library. The model references functions, libraries, API methods that doesn't exist or invents plausible looking package names. So the fabricated code could be it looks like it imports some library, but changes the information. So there is one concept of AI agent here. There is a design pattern called reflection. What we need to do is suppose we create a code with one model, ask another model to review it before pushing it. That could reduce major part of the issues. Confident wrong reasoning. The model works through a map problem or a logical chain with fluent step-by-step reasoning and arrives at an incorrect conclusion. Illustrative state. A multi-step calculation that looks methodological throughout but contains one silent long step that breaks the final answer. So the step-by-step format itself creates false trust. It looks like careful reasoning even when the step is flawed. Under the hood, why hallucination happens? Prediction, not retrieval. Model generates the statistically next words based on patterns. They are all looking up to database by default. So this is where RAG comes into picture. Training data gaps. If a topic is rare, recent, or unprecedented in training data, the model fills the gaps with plausible sounding invention. Reward for confident answers. Training processes have a historical reward fluent, competing sound responses over the model saying, I don't know. For beginners, a simple way to think about it. Imagine a student who has asked to answer instantly out loud and saying, I don't know, and gets graded on sounding confident. So a search engine looks up for a real pages that exist right now and show where the answers come from, grounded in real resources, whereas AI language model can sound sure while wrong. It can predict, it can invent the words. So we should always verify the response came from the AAs. Fake NPM package problem. This is a real world example. So when this is just a inconvenience, attackers have registered real packages under these hallucinated names. So blindly installing AI suggested dependency could introduce a malicious code into a real project. Always verify the package on the real registry before the AI suggests. Because it could be a malicious package, it could be imported into your system. For example, it can be a NPM package. So detection, how to stop hallucination. Verify anything specific. Whatever the response came from the LLMs, please do verify. Test code before trusting. If you get the code, there should be always a testing process to ensure it is working. And also we need to have a human reviewer and also cross-reference resources. When it cites something, ask for the source and ensure it is from the legitimate source. Ask the model to check itself. So prompt the model to review its own answer or review it with another model could also help here. So what are the four ways to reduce hallucination? None of these eliminate hallucination completely, but one meaningful lowers the risk in your prompts and pipelines. Ask for sources, ask allow I don't know, chain of thought verification, and RAG, structural fix. So the chain of thought verification and the RAG we will see in the next videos. I'll explain those in detail. Fix one, ask for sources. How? Add instructions like cite your sources, like we discussed before. Why it helps? Forcing the model to justify the claim makes fabrication more visible. Hello, I don't know. Because when the model says I don't know or it's not sure, so we add a line like if you are not confident, so say instead of guessing to system your system or user prompt, tell them like if it doesn't know something, please let us know so that will not help in be getting into hallucinated results. Chain of thought verification. Work step two process, like it is a step by step process. Then check your own answers for mistakes before responding. Self review catches meaningful share of reasoning errors. The model often can identify its own mistake when asked to look again. RAG, grounding AI real documents. Retrieval augmented generation changes the model's job from remember facts to summarize the real documents I just gave you. So you ask a question, search a real documents, attach the context and ground it. So what we are doing basically is like, suppose it doesn't, if we are working in a enterprise level project. If AI doesn't have access to database, we create a dump of the database and feed it into the AI so that it will get the context basically. This is the strongest of the four fixes because it is structural and not just the prompt in habit. The model is answering from the real, retrieval, and text instead of relying purely on memory. Key takeaways. Hallucination is not equal to confident. Fluent output that's factually wrong or fabricated. It shows up fake facts, fake citations, fake code, and confidently wrong reasoning. It happens because model predicts plausible text, not verified truth. Always verify anything specific, numbers, citations, package names, sources. Prompting helps, but RAG is the strongest structural fix for the production systems. Without RAG, it won't have a complete context. Thank you all for watching this video. In the next series, we'll meet up with some other topic in prompt engineering. Please do subscribe our channel, Intrinsic Intelligence. Thank you all, once again all for watching this video. Have a very good day.